Alright, Shalom, Yasharala. Before we get started, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word. And you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. Alright, we're back with another video. And this title of this lesson will be called The US Dollar will be done away with. Digital currency. Alright. The US dollar will eventually be done away with. Alright, it's going to lead to US digital currency. Alright, CBDCs. Alright, which means central bank digital currency. Alright. That's, and we know in the West, what that's going to lead to, the what? The mark of the beast. Alright. And I want to read an article. Now, this didn't happen in, the article we're going to read, this didn't happen in America, but it's going to make its way to America very, very soon. All right, we know this dollar is collapsing. All right, this dollar's they're about to do away with the dollar. You see? And which one is it? It's not this one. Yeah. So this happened in Cuba. All right, matter of fact, I got this picture. Let me show it. This from X, which is formerly known as Twitter. All right, and it says this was a post. This was made yesterday. It says the banking system has collapsed in Cuba. Bank accounts have been emptied and no cash at ATMs. The money in your bank account doesn't belong to you. When this happens in America, we will get a bank holiday, and the next day we will have CBDCs and complete digital tyranny. Exit all banks. You see, so that's something happening in Cuba, where their money, they can't really get a lot of money now. If you go to a certain ATM, you try to get money, you may run out of money, and now you got to go somewhere else to get money. You see, so like for the pop up. So this happened in Cuba. This is from April 27th, 2024. It says long lines form and frustration grows as Cuba runs short of cash. Right? It says Alessandro Fonseca stood in line for several hours outside a bank in Havana, hoping to withdraw Cuban pesos from an ATM, but when it's almost his turn, the cash ran out. He angrily hopped on his electric tricycle and traveled several kilometers to another branch, where he finally managed to withdraw some money after wasting the entire morning. He said, in quote, it shouldn't be so difficult to get the money you earn by working. The 23-year-old Fonseca told the Associated Press in a recent interview. You got a picture, all right? It says, Fonseca is one of an increasing number of frustrated Cubans who have to grapple with yet another hurdle while navigating the island's already complicated monetary system, a shortage of cash. So they can't get they can't get money like they want. You can't go up to the ATM, all right, and just take out whatever or whatever money you need. No, if you want to go to you go to the ATM, it might not have cash in it. You see, you got to go to another ATM system that has cash in it. And you might have to, like he said, he was saying his entire morning. You might go to 2 ATMs where they don't have cash, where you finally get to another one, and it does. You see, and this is what's gonna come to America, man. All right, the days of going to the ATM is gonna be no more. You see, it says long lines outside banks and ATMs in the capital, Havana, and beyond start forming early in the day as people seek cash for routine transactions like buying food and other essentials. It says experts say there are several reasons behind the shortage, all somehow related to Cuba's deep economic crisis, one of the worst in decades. Omar Everlani Perez, a Cuban economist and university professor, says the main culprits are the government's growing fiscal deficit, the non-existence of banknotes with a denomination greater than 1,000 Cuban pesos, about $3 in the parallel market, stubbornly high inflation and the non-return of cash to the banks. So high inflation, all right, it's gonna be America has not high inflation, but it's you know America has inflation. You see, it's the dollar that's getting prices are going up. You see, he says there is money, yes, but not in the banks, said Perez, adding that most of the cash is being held not by salaried workers, but by entrepreneurs and owners of small and medium-sized business who are more likely to collect cash from commercial transactions but are reluctant to return with the money to the banks. It says this, Perez says, is either because they don't trust the local banks or simply because they don't Salaki, because they need the Cuban pesos to convert into foreign currency. More entrepreneurs and small business owners in Cuba have to import almost everything they sell or pay in foreign currency for the supplies needed to run their businesses. As a consequence, many end up hoarding Cuban pesos to later change into foreign currency on the informal market. Converting those Cuban pesos to other currencies possesses yet another challenge, as there are several highly fluctuating exchange rates in the island. For example, the official rate used by government industries and agencies is 24 pesos to the U.S. dollar. While for individuals the rate is 120 pesos to the dollar. However, the dollar can fetch up to 350 Cuban pesos on the informal market. It says Perez notes that in 2018, 50% of the cash in circulation was in the hands of the Cuban population and the other half in the banks on the Caribbean island. But in 2022, the latest year for which information is available, 70% of cash was in the wallets of individuals. Cuban monetary authorities did not immediately respond to the AP's email request for comment. The shortage of cash comes as Cubans grapple with a complex monetary system in which several currencies circulate, including a virtual currency, MLC, which was created in 2019. Then in 2023, the government announced several measures aimed at promoting a cashless society, making the use of credit cards mandatory to pay for some transactions, including purchases of food, fuel, and other basic goods. But many businesses simply refuse to accept them. You see, I'll continue to read. Making things worse is stubbornly high inflation, meaning more and more physical bills are needed to buy products. According to official figures, inflation stood at 77% in 2021, then dropped to 31% in 2023. But for the average Cuban, the official figures barely reflect the reality of their lives, since market inflation can reach up to 3 digits on the informal market. For example, a carton of eggs, which sold for 300 Cuban pesos in 2019, these days sells for about 3,100 pesos. The monthly salary for Cuban state workers ranges between 5,000 to 7,000 Cuban pesos, between $14 and $20 in the parallel market. To live in an economy that, in addition to have several currencies, has several exchange rates and 3-digit inflation is quite complicated, said Pavel Vidal, a Cuban expert and professor at Columbia's Javerna University of California. All right. So crisis going on in money crisis going on in Cuba. You see, which they can't really get a lot of money. And that's gonna make its way to America, man. It's gonna, and this is what the elites want. They want this to happen. Why? To bring in their new world order. You see, they want a cashless society, right? Let's go to it's on the other one. They want you to pay with your, with that C hip, right? I just did a research on. I looked it up. Cashless society. All right, how close are we to cashless society? Are we really headed for a cashless society? Different things, man. The rise of the cashless society. One American News Network. All right. The future of banking is a cashless society. Let's read a little bit of this. It says, This came out November 15th, 2023. It says, once upon a time, there was a saying that cash is king. Yet, if there's one thing we've observed over centuries, it's that a king is bound to be dethroned. Physical cash was once viewed as an integral part of a country's identity and a way to conduct everyday business. However, in the age of modern technologies, such as Apple Pay, Venmo, and other digital payment methods like QR payments, cash is becoming an irrelevant tool in the modern society. Right. Nowadays, you can just, whip out your credit card, your debit card. All right. You could just pay with you could really pay with your phone now. You go to you go to a store that's near you, or that's down the street. You buy, so you get some chips, a water, all right, maybe a little bit of candy, all right. Comes up to what, $10? You can just pay with your phone. You can just tap your phone and boom, that's it. You don't gotta whip out no cash, no credit card, all right. You don't gotta do none of that. You see, so this is called gradualism. Started with money, then they introduced debit cards and credit cards, then they introduced phones. You can put your credit card, your debit card on your phone. All right, put your money on your phone. Then they got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. You see, they're doing all these things to gradually get you ready for what, the mark of the beast, man. All right. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. All right, so money's gonna be totally done away with soon. In the coming days. All right, the money will be no more, man. Right? Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. Let's get this in the NLT, right? It says, they will throw their money in the streets, right? Tossing it out like worthless trash. Their silver and their gold won't save them on that day of the Lord's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trip them up. So the people are gonna start, their money's gonna be worthless. You see, you may start seeing money in the streets. You try to go use it at a store, you can't use it. You see, you gonna try to buy you a gallon of milk. It's $40-$50. That's not gonna do you any good, man. All right, so the value of money is going down, man. You see, and they're gonna start coming with these CBDCs. All right, the central bank digital currencies, man. Are you gonna start using a digital money? That's what it's gonna come down to ultimately. You see, this is what the devil wants. All right, Esau, Edom. This is their plan. I'll put that in the link in the description. Or we can go over here. Will the U.S. dollar become a digital currency? All right. It says, let me see. It said the digital dollar has the potential to become the backbone of the United States economy and change the face of global commerce, known as a central bank digital currency, CBDC. It says the proposed electronic currency could make financial transactions completely digital, which would make transferring money faster and cheaper. It has also become a hot button issue with Republican lawmakers weighing in on the topic and voicing concerns. Critics say there are massive privacy and security issues, and an electronic currency could give the U.S. government unprecedented control over transactions. This is what they ultimately want, though. They want the control of your money. They want control of they want to see what you're buying, what you're doing. They want to trace and track you, so they can, at a certain point, they say, hey, you did too much of this, you did too much of that. All right, you got to wait until, your the month resets. You bought too much meat. All right, you use too much gas. Because they're talking about, that climate change stuff. All right. So they're gonna try to use these points to bring in these different policies, man. All right. You bought too much meat, you bought too much gas, you went out too much. All right. You better get you a bike. All right. It says, let's read this again. It says, critics say there are massive privacy and security issues, and electronic currency and an electronic currency could give the U.S. government unprecedented control over transactions. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said in March the possibility of launching a digital dollar in the U.S. was slim to none. That's what they say. So what will it take to create a digital dollar here in the United States? You know, let's go some of it. It says, understanding the digital dollar, a CBDC known as a digital dollar is a proposed form of electronic currency that could be used to buy or sell almost any goods and services in the U.S., much like a regular dollar is used today. Unlike the traditional greenback, however, a CBDC would not exist in paper form, but would be solely transacted and represented in an electronic format. The money would be directly issued by the Federal Reserve and live on a digital ledger, such as a blockchain, meaning there wouldn't be a need for traditional banks to handle certain types of transactions or record keeping. A digital currency would require a fully integrated digital infrastructure and could take years of research and development to launch. I mean, I believe they already have it. They're just waiting for the right crisis to roll this thing out. It says CBDCs gained popularity in the late 2010s when global Slocky. Man, read that again. CBDCs gained popularity in the late 2010s when global technology companies announced their own digital currencies, most notably Facebook's now defunct Libra. Dozens of central banks and governments have since launched digital currencies or pilot programs, according to data from the Washington, D.C. based nonpartisan think tank, the Atlantic Council. The data show that all of the G20 countries, which have some of largest economies in the world, are in some phase of developing a CBDC. All right, and you got the G20 country on the left, and CBDC phase on the right. You got Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, European Union, the EU, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, and the United Kingdom are in their phase. Some of them are in research and development or their pilot. It says, in an election year, CBDCs have also become a common issue. Salaki, hold on, wipe my screen so I can see. A common issue on the campaign trail. All right, with several presidential candidates voicing concerns about privacy and government oversight. Advocates say the technology will push the world's economy into the digital age by bringing down transaction costs, opening up access to financial services, and enhancing security and transparency. And it says, how likely is it that the U.S. dollar will become a digital currency? While the jury's still out on a U.S. digital dollar, Powell recently threw cold water on the idea while testifying before a Senate committee in March. Policymakers are nowhere near taking action on adopting the technology, and the government will most likely take a back seat to the banking industry and the creation of a digital currency. If we were to ever do something like this, and we're a very long way, let me slow down. If we were to ever do something like this, and we're a very long way from even thinking about it, we would do this through the banking system, Powell said. While the government could theoretically create a digital dollar, that would make transactions faster and easier for many Americans. There are serious concerns and potential dangers. The most alarming is that the government would potentially have the ability to track the financial transactions made by hundreds of millions of citizens, something Powell said would not fly in the U.S. and it would. They already admitted it. You see that the dollar will eventually turn to a digital currency. It'll be a CBDC, literally. You see, so I'll put the link in the description if you want to read the rest of that. All right, but this is ultimately, like we read in what's happening in Cuba, that's ultimately going to make its way to America, man. All right, there's going to be riots in the streets, going to be looting. They all want this to happen so they can roll in that ultimately the mark of the beast. You see, let's get they want the right crisis to happen. Matthew 24:21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Right? It's gonna be riots in the streets. All right, gonna be people gonna be dying in the streets. It's gonna be famine. It's gonna be, all right, people gonna be looting. All right, robbing these stores. You see, and they also want to do this because they talk about fraud. Digital IDs are coming. All right, this is all coming to America, Babylon the Great. So that dollar is gonna be taken. It's gonna also be taken out of the way. You see, and they're gonna make its way for this, which a lot of these Israelites are bucking up against. Revelation 13:16. He calls them all, both small and great, all right, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. All right, without it, you can't buy or sell with it. You can't do nothing in society, basically, right? And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, all right, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 600, 666, which is 666. So without the MOTB, you can't be in a society. You can't go to the store. You can't go to your Whole Foods or your Sam's Club or your Walmart. All right, you can't go to the bar or the movies, whatever you want to do. To buy, in order to buy and sell, you need the mark of the beast. You need that C hip. You see, so this is all what's going to come down to, right? So I don't think there's anything else I wanted to bring out. I think that might have been it. Let me see. Yeah, man. So ultimately, the U.S. dollar will be done away with, and digital currency will make its way into the, into the system. You see, so I don't really bring a lot of. I just want to do a lot more reading than but still, a lot of things are going to come into play within that. Riots. Like I said, they want the right crisis to bring this thing in. Because people want to ask for what? They're going to want order. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, you see, they're gonna people gonna be asking for order. They're gonna want some type of order, to come. So they're gonna say, hey, we had the right solution for all this. All right, and this is what they're gonna roll out that C hip. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Let's go over here. 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. Salakia. 2nd Esdras 16. And 21 it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So it's gonna be a famine. All right, people that's in the modern day sword are the firearms, these guns, man. All right, so it's gonna be a lot of chaos in the streets. It's gonna be civil unrest, and they need these things to happen to roll out, to bring in that peace and safety. You see, to roll out that mark of the beast. You see, so ultimately they're gonna do away with the dollar, man. Everything's gonna be on that mark. You see, so Lord willing, this was edifying to you, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word, and you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. All right, Lord willing, was edifying. To the next video, Shalom. Kwame Asharallah, Wa Ababa. All right, and wake up, Jacob. Shalom.